don't we all just wish someone would tell us that? Like, you're going to make it and you're going to be fine. Like, because the imposter syndrome is so real and we spend way too much time worrying that we can't do the thing that we're trying to be bold at doing.
Yeah.
And if we could just go, you're going to be okay. Imagine like what you could do with just knowing that like, you're not going to walk off a cliff here. This is going to be okay.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where myself and my co-host in life, Brad,
Hello.
and I are going to dig into the profound conversation I had with Monica Linda on our last episode. If you haven't listened to that interview, feel free to pause this, go back and listen to that one, and then come back and join us, or learn what we talked about, and then go back with all the good stuff, and then learn more gems, because we cannot recap the entire podcast. That's what the other one's for. So here, okay, babe.
Tell me.
I'm so excited right now, because we are days away from launching our Reformer deck of flashcards.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm excited about this because they're happening a lot faster than our matte flashcard deck did.
Are you kidding? Like literally
lightning fast.
A tenth of the time.
Yeah. And I wanted to share this with you.
Okay, 25% of the time. Yeah. But yes.
I wanted to share this with you all because I think it's really important to know that sometimes you're going to have setbacks and things, and I wanted to share this with you. So my excitement about the Reformer deck is that it's happening faster than the matte deck, because the matte deck took over a year, partially because of the pandemic, partially because it was the first time we were doing something. And then there was just like other things, but our matte flashcards, which we've sold hundreds of,
yeah,
which is so exciting. Hundreds of people have this Pilates studio in their hand with my flashcards on the mat exercises. And we had so many people who love Pilates already who have a Reformer, who want a Reformer deck. So we scrambled, like we worked night and day fast to get it done. So I just can't wait.
Well, I love it because it's more than, it's literally double the amount of cards. But, instead of 40 plus cards, it's 80 plus cards.
Yeah.
And, now that we have a system, which is something I geek out about.
He loves the system.
We've been able to make that happen a whole lot faster. So anyway, it's almost out. We can't wait. If you're even wondering what the heck we're talking about, you can just go find them on onlinepilatesclasses.com /flashcards, or you can also find them on Pilates.com.
Yeah.
Over at Balanced Body.
Yeah.
They are carrying them, which is so cool.
I know. Pinch Me, the number one developer of Pilates equipment, has my flashcards on their site. So get them there, get them on OPC, just get them.
Stay tuned.
And if you are wanting the Reformer flashcards, definitely get on the list so that you can find out as soon as they're ready, because they will go out fast. Okay, so we have an audience question, babe.
Yes, we do. And I love this question. I'm so excited to answer it.
I know. Trust me, he's not, if you didn't hear that already. So someone hit me up on Instagram and asked if we work out together. And I just love this question because the truth is...
Did you laugh?
like that that kind of laugh. Like, when people ask Brad, how often do you Pilates? I'm like...
I mean, look, the reality is we do work out together.
We do. We go on walks every night.
And we do yoga together. So
up to 3 times a week.
I would say that 75% of the time that I am working out, we are working out together.
Yes, and
so actually, yes, we work out together.
Yes, we do. I won't even do the percentage of much time I work out alone.
Well, I definitely didn't reveal the entirety of the situation. I would say that you work out every single day. aside from our walk, you're actually, you have a Pilates practice that you literally do every day.
Yeah, I love our walks because I love to get minimum 10,000 steps in a day. Y'all, your calves are your second heart. Every step matters. It's a pump, and it's not automatic like your heart is. So you got to pump that blood back up. And I like to do it at night with you because, you know, we do work together a lot, but we are not often, like, we're not hanging out together. So it's a great way for us to spend time together that's not working. And I
get some movement
in, get my steps in, like clear my mind before I go to bed. But when he says I work out every day, I do my Pilates every day, even if it's just a few minutes. And then I do the morning run with the dog because otherwise they're even crazier. And then I do yoga with you. So I work out alone more, not because it's not like he wouldn't join me, but I'm actually grateful to be alone because I get a lot of energy from being by myself.
Well, I do think that it's fair to say that I wouldn't join you for all of that.
Yeah.
Just, you know, we have different life cycles, and I don't get up when you get up. I don't go to sleep when you go to sleep. So, you know, obviously you get up at 5:30 and go run. I don't do that.
Yeah. And that's okay. It's so okay. Like, maybe you're with someone who doesn't work out with you and that frustrates you. You could say something to them, but like you could also look at like what are the positive reasons for not working out with them, and then what are the positive reasons for. I mean, I love doing yoga with you because it is something we could do together, and because we do it virtually now, we pretty much like get to like chit chat a little bit while we're doing class.
Yeah, but also too, you know, when we were back when life was normal pre-COVID and lived in LA, I would go play Ultimate. You don't do that. So like, you know, there's definitely a sense of independence in that. But today at this point, you know, most of the time I'm doing yoga, you're also joining, but not 100% of the time. And then, you know, it's so, you know, and then I don't necessarily, you know, I'm not gangbusters on practicing Pilates in the way that you are. I don't have a personal Pilates practice. I will happily practice it when we do events and things like that, and when we go on retreats. I do like it a lot.
Yeah, he does Pilates every day on a retreat. He does Pilates all the time during our challenges, our 100 With Me challenge. And when I will teach him in the studio, he will do his Pilates. So, there's that. Yeah. So thank you for this question.
Thanks everyone for that question.
I keep sending your questions in. You can DM me at the Beit Pod on Instagram and ask your question. Speaking of working out though, here we are, y'all. If you want to work out with a person in your life, this is a great way to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if you and your partner are trying to figure out a way to work together, or maybe it's your roommate or your bestie, you can go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/beit and get a free workout from me. It's 30 minutes. Not only is it free, and that's fun, but it's 30 minutes of moving your body, connecting your mind to your body, and practicing prioritizing your time. This is really important to me. When you show up for a Pilates class with me, you are literally having to focus on only what you're doing in that moment, which means you clear your mind and you're telling everyone around you, including yourself and the universe, that you matter and your time matters. So go to onlinepilatesclasses.com/BEIT. All right, babe.
Love it.
Let's talk about Monica.
Yeah, let's talk about Monica Linda. So in the last pod, obviously, you had this incredible conversation with Monica. I'm so excited to be able to say we're dear friends with Monica and her wife, and it's just been such a pleasure to have her spirit in our world. Like, she is just the definition of enthusiasm and joy. And she's a powerhouse. I mean, you cannot help but be excited about life when you're around Monica.
You gotta go to Monica's Instagram. And the other day she posted a reel where she was just face to camera dancing to Justin Bieber and like telling people that they're amazing. And it's like, I am amazing.
I mean, aside from being awesome in life, she is the founder and chief photographer at Girl Squad, which is a media company that focuses on photography, media, which includes video, and also branding. She helps you make social media content, all this kind of stuff. Monica Linda has traveled all over the country to photograph more than 500 women and is now directing movies for her clients, which is so cool because we had a chance to experience that.
Yeah, we have a movie.
She takes women from feeling invisible to becoming experts who are thriving and immersing themselves in the businesses that they have sacrificed everything to build. I just think it's so incredible, her commitment to setting others up in the lives that they're choosing for themselves.
100%. She is absolutely one of the reasons we're sitting here right now, even doing this, because she saw what I wanted to say in me, and I couldn't figure out how to say it. And she's like, oh, well, this is it. And I was like, oh, she sees it. So that was just easier. Like, it's just so important to have people in your lives that can like visualize what your dreams are and then help you see the path that's possible. And so I'm just so grateful for her.
Yeah. I mean, total side note, this, not about the pod, but her, like when we started spending money on photographs of you for social media, it was grease in the wheels.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tragically like rough example. It allowed social media and marketing to be so much easier because we had all this content that was suddenly we had hundreds and now thousands of photos that you can go back to and go, I need to talk about this today. And then, we've organized all these photos since, but you can just go through, find a photo, bam, and it keeps it fresh, fun. People look at our social media now and go, wow, they're so amazing. And that's because we decided to invest in photographs. And then when we did it with her, because she's so good, she knows you now.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
It was amazing. So anyways, we could keep going on about how amazing she is and getting the photography with her.
But let's actually talk about the pod.
We're talking about that. So in the interview, one of the things that I freaking loved was how she was talking about getting stuck on getting started. And here's the deal. She shares her story about how she would say yes to an opportunity and then go rent the equipment to go do the photography job, right? So she didn't go, oh, don't have that camera lens, can't just say yes to that job, just we'll wait for the next one, or get frustrated, like I don't have the things I need to get started. No, she literally figured out how she could like piecemeal together a business so she could say yes all the time. There's a great story in there how she said yes and had 90 minutes to get her freaking act together, get a camera and get to the place. And I love this because I think it is so easy for us to just go, oh, I don't have that training yet, so can't do that. Or I don't have the time. I don't know, insert like the running shoes to go running. Like she didn't get stuck on getting started. She just figured out a way. And so like I say to people, they're like, how do I get started with Pilates? I'm like, do you have a beach towel and a floor? Great. Get on it. Like you don't have to have the fancy mat or the fancy leggings to get started. And I just absolutely love that. Yeah,
I thought that was really powerful. It actually reminded me of your beginning with teaching, where you were still kind of an apprentice to your mat training program, and then your instructor or your teacher trainer was like, well, here, you should practice your hours by starting to teach.
Yeah, she did. She gave me my first clients, and I thought I was like, oh my God, I'm doing. And
imposter syndrome much, right?
Like so many, but here's the thing that I learned. Within 5 minutes of teaching them, I knew so much more. And so I just didn't get stuck on that. And then I got really excited to teach. And what ended up happening is I told everybody about it, but, it's easy to get stuck on like what to do next. And she is just going to inspire you to do so much quicker.
Yeah, I really love that. One of the things that she said that made me pause was, I think it kind of came out of the conversation that the two of you are having, is that she wanted to be something other than she was. And this was when she had a job, she was working for someone else, and she drew a line in the sand and she said, by 2018, I'm going to leave this job, right? And so she began to be the person that she wanted to be, even though she still had life and job and things and whatever and fear and all the stuff. She had to be an entrepreneur. She had to do this. And so she began to do it, even though she didn't know what she was doing, right? And then when 2018 came around, she said, I didn't even have a full client list, and I left my job. And it was terrifying. She started talking about taking that leap. And so when I think that there was frustration clearly that got her to the point of, I must leave my job, right? And so she made a decision to take a leap, and then she committed to taking that leap. In order for her to take the leap, though, she had to be herself, like be her entrepreneurial self.
Yeah, she has
before she was truly an entrepreneur.
She shared in the interview, like, she doesn't have anyone in her family as an entrepreneur. She didn't have anyone to like look to or look up to in her actual life. And one thing that I don't think we talked about in the interview, but we talked about just like because we're friends, is she would dress up as the part of the photographer she wanted to be when she would go rent the equipment. Like when she would go buy her first camera, she was like dressed up as this woman, and so she could walk in with her head held high. And that's the thing about like sometimes like being that person is literally putting on those clothes. And like it's like you know, I think with a lot of, if you're listening to this post-pandemic, hopefully we're all getting dressed up and going outside again. But you know, one of the things that like a lot of people talk about is like they're wearing the pajamas all day. And it's like, well, of course you have imposter syndrome. Of course you're having a hard time being motivated. You're not in the clothes to do the work that you want to do. Like there's something really about that. Like I made a point this year. I'm like, I'm putting my makeup on every day. I'm putting on a new fresh outfit today. Like I'm not going to be like, well, that's not dirty because I didn't go anywhere. No, because all of that makes you be it more. So I love that.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that a lot of people talk about, especially with working from home, is, you know, working in your sweats, working in your pajamas, working in your yoga clothes, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it is true, you know, there's something very different about my mentality when I, you know, am not just rolling out of bed right to my desk. I roll, you know, like I never was the guy who took showers in the morning. I take my shower before I go to sleep. And recently I've started taking showers in the morning because I'm trying to create a morning, like I guess it's a routine, but I want to set myself up so that when I sit down, I'm like mentally prepared, mentally ready to shift gears and really dig into it. And I think, you know, I know we kind of shifted topics here on taking the leap, but being that person, you know, it's been even at home, if you're not intentional about making that decision, then you're not going to be that person. Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, what did you love about her, action steps?
Yeah, I think let's shift gears here. You know, I think it was she was really excited to encourage everyone to be bold. You know, when we asked her specifically about what tangible action steps could we take on our journey here to be it, and she specifically called out being bold. And she said something that I want to say it's a mentor of hers, definitely an inspirational person who shifted her career, told her, you know, that you're going to be okay doing it. You're going to be okay being a photographer. You are going to make it. Now that you know that, shut up and do the work.
I love it. Right? I love it so much.
And it was like, thank you for the permission, you know, I guess, to know that I'm going to survive this, even though I've got all this fear. I just need to stay focused and be consistent. But her boldness caused her to do something that I thought, well, that you were talking about, which is.
Oh, the asking of questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. So, first of all, I just have to say really quickly before we go into my favorite takeaway in asking questions is like, don't we all just wish someone would tell us that? Like, you're going to make it and you're going to be fine. Like, because the imposter syndrome is so real and we spend way too much time worrying that we can't do the thing that we're trying to be bold at doing.
Yeah.
And if we could just go, you're going to be okay. Imagine like what you could do with just knowing that like, you're not going to walk off a cliff here. This is going to be okay.
Well, you know what? Actually, yes, 100%. I just was reflecting back on when we first met Monica.
Yeah.
Okay. the very first time I ever met her, we were at a business conference. It was like a mastermind situation. There was all these photographers all around us, and then there was this lady sitting in the group there was roughly 50 businesses in the room, and I just remember her in all white, head to toe white.
Yeah.
Right? Like she just looked like.
Yeah.
Right? And
y'all, J-Lo wishes she looked this good. Like, Monica glows in all white, with her hair. Amazing.
And I'm flipping through, we all got this little booklet that had everybody's names in it, and it had a little, 2-sentence thing about their business and what they're doing so that we could have some kind of, a touch point to, kind of understand who they are and maybe start a conversation. And in her bio, in her thing, it said that she wanted to be, running $1 billion company.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? How can a photographer run $1 billion company? Right? And but I was like, I mean, I guess, okay. I don't know her. I didn't know anything about her. Right? But I was shocked at how bold that statement was. And then when I heard her talking, I was like, oh man, her enthusiasm, is like she's like a train. Bam! She's just gonna get there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, she really is, and she doesn't let anything get in her way, and it's amazing. So, okay, back to how it led her to asking questions, and what my biggest takeaway was just asking. So here's the deal. I feel like I grew up kind of, I don't know, this is not let's not hate on my parents, but they were always like, children should be seen, not heard. And it's like, so I don't know, I guess I just didn't ask questions. And I kind of felt like, even though I know that there's no wrong question, you're not putting anyone out, I kind of feel like I'm wasting people's time when I ask a question that maybe I could just look up the answer myself. And so in this same mastermind, but Brad and I are in together, everyone gets to ask a question, and he's like, we get to ask 2 questions because there's 2 of us. And so every time we would be at these things, he's like, okay, what are we going to ask? And I'm like, I don't know. And I would just hope that he would ask them. And then so I'll never forget, it was with Angie Lee. We're in the front table.
It was with who?
Angie Lee. Yeah, Angie Lee. And we were at the front table, and you'd asked your question. And other people are asking their questions, and he's like, okay, well, what kind of question you ask? I'm like, I don't know. I guess I wonder how she does whatever. So he grabs the microphone. I just thought he was going to ask the question, and instead he puts it in front of my face, and I was like my whole face showed that I did not want to have this microphone. And obviously, if you know me, you're like, what are you talking about? But I have this thing about asking. I feel like I'm wasting people's time. I feel like I'm taking advantage. And our whole relationship will come with ideas oh, I'm just going to ask this person if they want to do this with us. I'm like, you can't just ask people. They're very busy. People are busy, so but in that moment, I was like, I got to get over this because this is really dumb, because what's holding me back from where I am today and where I want to be is not asking enough questions and not asking for help.
It was also a pretty high pressure situation because it was the panel was Chris Harder, Lori Harder, Angie Lee, plus a room full of entrepreneurs all watching, looking at you. That
room was multiple hundreds of millions of dollars of businesses and experiences. And here's my little question. But I did realize I'm holding me back because I don't ask people to help me. Mm. And she just doesn't stop. If she's got a question, she asks it. What is on her mind, she asks it. Ever since I've known her, everything she does, even if it's something that has nothing to do with business, she'll ask people the question that's coming up. And it is exactly why she is where she is right now. And also the job she's gotten is because she's asked the questions and she's put herself in the room. So that is my big takeaway. I'm so grateful for learning that lesson, and I'm still learning it. So
yeah, and I have to imagine that she, I know that she has not only photographed, Lori Harder, then she photographed Chris and Lori Harder, then she photographed the events, multiple events for them,
hundreds of people at them.
So I'm sure she was asking, hey, how can I help you next? What can I do to help you next? You know, kind of a thing. Because once she had a client, she can, the easiest sell is like to a client who already knows, believes, trusts, loves you, to say, hey, what else can I do for you? So anyway, she's just an inspiration. I
hope that a big challenge to you is to ask someone for help, ask someone to join you in something, ask someone to be it with you, ask a question, and then tag me on Instagram so that I can root you along and also be inspired. And I will promise to ask more questions every single day. Ask for more people to help me out too. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for listening to us. It was so wonderful to have you. We're so grateful you're here. And we want to know how you're using these tips in your life. So let us know by sending a DM to the pod on Instagram. And that's beit pod on IG. Please screenshot this, tag it on Instagram, tag us, and share us your takeaways. Also send this to a friend who needs it, you know, because that's how the word gets out about this podcast, and also how more people in the world be it till they see it. We'll see you on the next episode.
Cheers.
That's all I got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of As the Crows Fly Media.
It's written, produced, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
Kevin and Belle at Disenyo handle all of our audio editing and some social media content.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to our designer Jaira Mondal for creating all of our visuals, which you can't see because this is a podcast, and our digital producer Jay Pedroso for editing all the video each week so you can.
And to Meredith Crowell for keeping us all on point and on time.